Hello, and welcome to Reality Remix, the podcast, episode 7. I'm your host, Dale Jensen, and a news item that you might have missed recently is Democrats thought they bottomed out in rural white America. It wasn't the bottom. The bellwether off-term election in Virginia last week bared fact. Democrats are out of touch with typical Americans on a wide variety of subjects, specifically education and the economy. There is nothing good from a liberal perspective as a result of this off-term election. And we move into Reality Remix. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you'll know when we've posted new content. It doesn't cost anything, and it really will help out the channel, so thank you in advance. With me in the studio today are Dennis.
Hi Dale, how you doing today? That whole situation in Virginia, we almost got New Jersey too, but lo and behold, there were some mail-in ballots they didn't count.
Yeah, some late-minute balloting at 3 a.m.
Yep.
Also with me is Jim.
Yeah, hi Dale. Hi Dale.
How's it going? And Solomon.
Hi everybody, how you doing tonight?
Doing good.
Doing fine, except it's cold here in Florida.
Ha ha, that serves you right.
It's doomsday for us. Episode 7, Doomsday Scenarios. We all know that civilization is fraught with peril, and it likely can't last forever. We've just gone through a terrible pandemic, millions dead from what is essentially a cold that can kill you. But there's more than that out there. Dennis, let's talk about the end of the world.
All right, well, I came up with a few scenarios for the Armageddon Doomsday thing that the mainstream media would like to believe. On this episode, we'll cover a few of them and the way that the life on this rock that we live could end. The mainstream media does love to spread fear and be over dramatic, so let's look at some of the possibilities. First up on the list is climate change. According to the progressives, we only have 11 years left, and we have to go green immediately, or else. Meanwhile, China and India are the biggest polluters worldwide, and lo and behold, I heard that China didn't even attend the recent climate summit. Number 2, a worldwide pandemic. Well, we just had a so-called one of those, and yep, we are mostly still here. Who knows what's around the corner, but for now, we dodged that particular bullet. An asteroid impact. Around December 11th of this year, sourced from the Jerusalem Post, we have an asteroid dubbed a PHA, or potentially hazardous asteroid, that's egg-shaped and taller than the Eiffel Tower. It'll swing by Earth at a distance of 3.9 million kilometers, so don't head for your bunker quite yet, as the Earth-to-Moon distance is only 385,000 kilometers, so the asteroid near us isn't that much of a threat. However, since Earth has already had 5 or 6 extinction events, you never know what's lurking in the dark recesses of space. Will we spot the next killer asteroid in time and somehow mitigate it hitting the Earth? Number 4 on the list is nuclear war. We've been sitting on nukes since the Cold War and have yet to have another detonation upon civilizations, or civilian populations, since World War II. This one is kind of in society's hands to avert, and if we kind of nuke each other, that's just bad politics there. I guess we deserve to go. Number 5 on the list, supervolcanoes. While volcanic activity is normal inside the Earth, I'm referring to places like a super caldera in the Yellowstone. The Earth herself would survive, but life would definitely be tough in a world full of ash and toxic air. Number 6 on the list, AI takeover. While we're not there yet, technology is evolving so rapidly that AI could be here before we realize it. Once that happens, there's no guarantee it'll be benevolent. Perhaps, however, that may be a solution to controlling social media. Who knows? And to round it out, number 7, an alien invasion. The least likely doomsday scenario is an extraterrestrial invasion of Earth, in my opinion. It's hard to get a clear picture of a UAV or a UFO, let alone identify an off-worldly attack that's coming towards us. Which do you think is most likely? Turn it over to the crew now and leave your comments in the section below.
I would have to say that the one that concerns me the most is the asteroid, because, as you pointed out, there have been numerous instances of uh, cataclysms that can be pinpointed to asteroids hitting the planet. Now, one would assume that there's fewer asteroids out there at this time than there was, 20 million years ago, but they're still out there, and we definitely don't know where they all are. And the piece of it that's most concerning is, okay, let's say that they get a line on an asteroid that's headed straight for Earth. What are they going to do? Shoot Bruce Willis up to break the rock in half, or
I read one news article that says they were working on solar sails where they mash them into the asteroid, deploy the sails, it picks up enough solar wind to where it doesn't drag it off course by much, but it drags it off enough to where they could possibly deflect it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, do we even have spacecraft that would be capable of carrying out a mission like that?
Yep.
So if you see the thing 6 months out, can they build a spacecraft and deliver that sort of thing in time? I doubt it.
I don't know. Could they
Yeah,
build something in 6 months? Solomon, go ahead.
I would say probably not in 6 months. If they had a year or two, maybe they can swing something together to, a last ditch effort. But right now, I don't think so.
Well, how far out can we detect something coming in? I mean, we have asteroid watchers all the time. They all the time spot new asteroids, objects that they haven't seen before. I mean, what's the furthest we can look out there?
Yeah. I mean, it really depends on when you find it. If you find it on a trajectory where it's already headed away, then you can figure out when it would come back to you. But if you see it when it's only a couple 100,000 kilometers out, that's way too late.
Yeah, well,
Right.
we
Or
have
a couple
asteroids
million
hitting.
kilometers is way too late.
Yeah, we have asteroids hitting meteorites hitting the Earth all the time. They sizzle up in our
All the time.
atmosphere. Yeah, so you would think that something that's big enough to do some damage that wouldn't burn up in the atmosphere, they could detect a little bit further away.
If you're looking in the right direction at the right time.
Do we have a dedicated space program to map the asteroids and things like that? I would assume that one of NASA's functions is to spend time at the telescope, just checking things out. But as we've seen in the past, a lot of the stuff gets caught by amateurs, and you just have to hope that they're looking in the right direction.
And then I've heard several news reports where they have, well, that asteroid just missed us by a whisker, but it's gone now. It's out of the range.
So of the others, I highly discount alien invasion. I think that if there are aliens out there and they have established the technology to explore the universe, I think it highly unlikely that they would come to this planet, which is um, uh, not the greatest place around, and try to enslave us or eat us, or whatever it is that they do. That just doesn't strike me as likely. Civilization is kind of required to uh, create a um, space program, and yeah, so I'm not keen on that one. What about you guys?
Okay, so the alien, if it's a violent, bug style on Starship Trooper, then they're not going to have the ability to build the technology to traverse the boundaries of space. But there are, in video games, the StarCraft series, they have the Zerg, which are capable of interstellar travel, and they land on, but they're just as primitive as the little bug creatures, or the alien from the Sigourney Weaver series. Aliens, and they somehow propagate across the planet, the what
Galaxy.
Galaxy, yeah. And if they landed here in what, the United States, where would they particularly choose to land to start like eating people and whatnot? To me, I agree. It's like very low on the totem pole.
They pulled 7 meteors. 3 of them they're quite sure came from Mars. In Antarctica, they dug a hole. I think it was 7,200 kilometers. Finally went that deep. They found a lake that's full of bacteria. That's so dangerous. If it were to ever be released into the atmosphere, we would not exist.
Well, we wouldn't have the immunity to find it off because it's what
Right.
been
We
buried
have
there.
no way to combat it. In fact, they don't even want to bring it up out of that lake because they cannot understand how it can live that long in that lake.
But it came
But
off of a meteorite or something, or it's just an alien life form that we've never discovered here.
But they're saying that the Antarctica's magnetic draw is actually keeping meteors from coming anywhere near Earth. But what they drew from the 2 that they pulled, one was approximately the size of a VW, buried in the ice 5 miles deep. 5 miles deep was actually made of carbonite.
So
it has a high
it
and a
was
carbonite.
it was from Mars, or you're
Yeah,
saying this was even predating earlier and earlier.
Yeah, it could have been. They can't even tell how old it is yet because the dating on it, they said, would be about 1,000,000 years old.
Okay, well, 1,000,000 years old is like pretty much before humankind came around.
Well, yeah, civilized humankind. We don't know. You could sit here and carbon date something, and just because you created this machine that you believe tells you the proper dates, you don't really know that. I mean, it's a guesstimate, our best scientific guesstimate of what a time frame is. But we all know that time is mostly illusion as we change it the way we see fit. We use time to our own benefit.
Okay, on that instance, when did time actually begin? We pick an arbitrary date of what, 0 AD, 0 BC, and we count from there. So then we're going back millions of years, which that's just a little iota of, a geological time frame.
Right. What we consider, we made time so we could measure things, our hands and so forth. That's what, we invented time. Let's put it that way. There was daylight and dark, but we did not put a minute structure on it. The closest ones that really were on point were the Mayans, I would say, Mayans and Aztecs. But they still did not have time centered. They always had something that would change it. We have our February. So every 4 years, we fix what's been wrong for 4 years in time by adding a day.
Yeah, true.
But I'm saying, and as far as being hit by a meteor from out there, there's a reason that space station moves as fast as it does.
To dodge.
In fact, it has some extreme powerful weaponry on it. Don't kid yourself. It really is loaded. It has payloads unbelievable.
Okay, so we could jury rig something to shoot out an asteroid if we had to, is what you're saying?
It's already there. That's the intent of the space station, is to monitor what's out there and keep it away from us as much as we possibly can as human beings to do it.
Okay, clarify that a little bit. How far up is the space station? Is it completely out of our atmosphere?
No. It has the capability of moving in and out of the atmosphere. It's the technology on it is far beyond what we're playing with today, even with the iPhones. There's been 11 Russian scientists, 20 Japanese scientists, 30 different or 40 different American scientists that have traveled to and from that space station already without you even knowing it. I mean, every day we're sending up satellites. Pretty much every day someone has another satellite that needs to be launched for communication purposes. That's why Trump wanted to get into the space war thing. because if someone goes out there with lasers, and we know that laser technology has jumped in the last 10 years 100-fold. Our capability to really use a laser and cut things. And I saw a laser welder yesterday. That's brand new technology. It's so clean. It actually you can hardly measure the cut between it and its cut piece, no matter what it is.
Yeah,
it can cut.
That's down to a few microns.
Yeah, it is. It's almost immeasurable. Of course, we can't measure it, but it's for the naked eye to see the difference between the two. You would never be able to do it. It's such a clean cut. But there's only one of them, so.
Okay, well, to jump over to the other topic about the worldwide pandemic, let's cover that briefly. What are they going to come up with next? Okay, if this virus came out of China from Wuhan, like they're saying, and it was bioengineered, and they released it into the public, that's conspiracy theory there. I'm all good with that, but what could be worse? It didn't kill a lot of millions of people worldwide. It killed millions, okay, but that wasn't anything like some of the other pandemics we've had. So would you guys think that they could come up with something that, hey, instantly wipes out 30,000 people here, outbreak? Now there would be time to panic, but we already said we wear the mask, we got the vaccine, okay, and COVID's still out there. It's never going away anywhere. When you release something like a virus out into the society, the civilian population all around the world, what defense do we have, and what could they come up that was even worse?
Well, viruses either do one of two things. They spread rapidly, or they kill rapidly. They don't something that kills fast and doesn't spread very rapidly. For example, Ebola is not going to get into the population with huge numbers, because basically if you get it, you die before you can pass it on to somebody else. So what was harmful about COVID is that it spread very easily, particularly the Delta variation, and it for the vast majority of people, it didn't kill them. So that's why it became so widespread, is because there's really nothing that you can do to stop it.
Yeah, well, two of the qualifications for a pandemic should be widespread, easily, and high kill ratio. You said it's either one or the other. That's a comforting thought. But what if they made something that was high kill and high spread?
The Delta variant is exactly that. It's high spread, high kill.
Well, I haven't heard of a lot of people dying with the new variants. I think they're more mutated strains of the original 19.
Bring it down to the original. If you look at all the documentation that came out of Harvard University when it first really started rolling about December 2019, it actually had coronavirus has been around because it's a SARS virus.
Yeah.
And it's been around for quite some time, but it's never mutated into such an effective virus until they planted it so that it would kill older generations, the 60 and above type. Now, some of it's conspiracy, but then when you look at what happened with New York and the nursing homes in California, that these people, once they were pneumoniated, they couldn't take care of them any longer because they're so old they can't get up and they can't move, and they had to be given oxygen and put in iron lungs, and they tried everything they could think of for pneumonia except one: mobility.
Yeah, true. If you get up and walk around, it increases your metabolism. Nursing home people are semi-immobile.
Right. Older, disabled people who, I hate to say it this way, it can be burdensome on society. I don't mean it because I'm older and I'm very productive for my age, but other people who are, my sister, she's 2 years younger than me, and she's debilitated half the time, So if you were looking at it from we all know good and bad exists, an evil perspective, if you wiped out half the population that was drawing against your ability to become wealthy, you would use it. You could use it, and they did. And that's just my opinion, though, guys. It's not, it's not for real. It's just the research that I keep going into. Every time it keeps coming back to, why did they do this, and where did it truly come from? Well, it didn't just come from Wuhan. I mean, that's one of the labs where all this work has been done, but it also was done in a couple of labs here in America. And we can't prove it, but they say there's already been work was being done on SARS and its ability to be a biological weapon.
Well, we're better off blaming the Chinese. I mean, that's a political slant there.
I agree. And this is an open network, so
Okay, well, we're going to wrap up the topic about now.
Yeah, all right. Some pretty scary stuff there. You've been listening to Reality Remix, the podcast. Thank you again for hitting that thumbs up button, as well as subscribing to the channel if you like what you hear.